not personally present here. So he has especially told me to convey his regards and that he's missing you at this event today, this useful event. So his wishes are also with me. I welcome you on behalf of the consulate and on behalf of our diverse community here that is very vibrant and always supportive of the cause for the Indian values. So. And we work I need no mention actually. We have brought some Indian agricultural revolution in Indian agriculture sector that is good for sustainable and good for health and also good for environment. So it's one of the solutions that we need in 21st century. And Houston and already I can pick up your things and what I saw in various stores like millets are available now. What I told that you were not available earlier, so I think your last visit in 2023 made an impact. So people are picking up your advice and your guidance. So that's the one thing that Houston is, and migrant diaspora is Houston is responsive or receptive of your call. So and even like there are many stores, many restaurants that have millet-based menu. So it's like a Pondicherry and there are Udupi Cafe. There are several others. I don't want to name, but there are many restaurants that have started with this millet thing. So this is a good thing, and not only Indian community, even in HEV and their Costco, their stores, they also have now more store in their sales millet-based product. So this is showing that what you are doing is not doing in vain, and it's picking up. It will take some time while millet is getting to its due position, but your work is being recognized, and Houston is one of the main follower and that main recipient of the thing. So welcome to this, not only the energy capital of the world, but I think the way it is developed, it will be the millet capital of the world someday. And you work on the community work and also really happy to associate with this. So with that, I like to give a mic to our coordinator of the event so that further thing can be developed. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashantji, and thank you to the Consulate General for giving us this facility and making us feel at home for this event. Welcome, Dr. Khader Valli ji. So usually I do not follow a script, but for a man of his eminence, I just wanted to make sure that I don't miss out on anything. So here is a brief formal introduction. I know we are here to listen to him, so I'm not going to take more than 90 seconds, I promise. Okay. So Dr. Khader Valli, the Millet Man of India, it's indeed a privilege to introduce you. A visionary whose mission has transformed life across India and beyond. Dr. Khader Valli, fondly known as the Millet Man of India, a distinguished scientist, nutritionist and environmentalist. He has spearheaded the revival of India's ancient millet traditions and redefined health through the integrated lens of food, lifestyle and ecological sustainability. Armed with a PhD in steroid chemistry from the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore and postdoctoral research in environmental science from USA, Dr. Valli made the profound choice to leave a promising and flourishing career and return to India to work directly with communities at the grassroots. So, thank you for doing that and bringing these traditions back. For over the last 2 decades, he has passionately promoted 5 positive millets, foxtail, kodo, banja, little and brown top as potent dietary tools to combat modern lifestyle disease including diabetes, hypertension, PCOD, thyroid disorders and even cancer. So with that, over to you, Dr. Valli. The Houston community is indeed privileged to have you here and we are eager to listen from you. Thank you.
Namaste. Bharat. The food systems of Bharat have been very ancient And I personally believe that there is no other civilization who understood food as much as we did. In its true sense, it's not the traditions, it is the science of food that of course gave birth to Ayurveda. Ayurveda means it is the life span, birth and death excluded. So in that context, how to make your Ayu, that is your lifespan, better? How do you live better? So essentially we were addressing the issue of how to make life better. So the three aspects of that is knowledge about the surroundings, be it fauna or flora, because life is not exclusive, it is inclusive. That means your life depends on other forms of life. Second, how do we process the food that befits our health? The third is chikitsa. If in case you get sick, how do you get well? But sadly, of late, the Western thought process has always screwed up the systems. We have been following the Western thought process in the last maybe 100 years or so. The whole planet has been either bullied or manipulated to follow what these guys want to sell, starting from bombs to the fertilizer, pesticides. And it's been a very sensible business model that they have followed, but then it is nonsensical when it becomes ecological disasters. And that's what we are at, the crossroads of ecological disaster, which is going to engulf the whole living systems on this planet. The model of modern agriculture, basically centralizing the production, processing, has actually robbed the nutrition from the food, and of course there is plenty evidence is that the supplement business of Western pharmaceutical companies itself is more than half the business. So the fact that they are supplying supplements, despite having said that they have very good food, is a paradox in itself. That if your food is complete and can provide health, why the hell do you need supplements? So it's that the modern agricultural techniques have robbed the nutrition part of the food, and we are only providing the bulk part and lost way to provide health. And that's where Ayurveda's concepts are fundamentally more scientific and relevant even today. So unless you understand the fauna and flora of your environmental, ecological balances, you will not be healthy. And then unless you know how to process within your own hands and eat the right food at the right time, you will not be healthy. In case you fall sick, you have the medicinal plants only around you, and that's what Charaka said. So the food and the medicine has to come within the zone of time and place for you. So by centralizing and globalizing the issues of food, we have started the disastrous path. And that's where the problems begin, theoretically. So now, in India, Kerala, people are eating paratha made of wheat. Wheat doesn't grow there. Wheat doesn't grow in many places. But all over the world, people are eating wheat because Westerners want to sell their modified They are growing in tons and tons, overdoing it. And in the name of modern agriculture, they went to nook and corners of all the planet and said what all the food systems that are available locally are basically primitive. These are the exact words they use, these experts. Primitive food, animal food, bird food. Even today in Colorado they grow brown top millet, not for human consumption is what FDA labels. And there cannot be more nonsense than that. It's incredible that it goes on. And we have now reached a stage where there will be no food if you keep eating. Actually, the word eat is eliminated as a way of consuming the food. It's a consumption of. So we are really consuming the natural resources because the modern food that is basically 1600 million tons of soybean is grown, 1600 million tons of sweet corn, American sweet corn is grown, and these two are mixed when you make the animal feed, and all over the world 92 billion pigs. I'm talking about yearly quota. This is yearly. 1 year, 92 billion pigs are slaughtered, 258 billion chicken are slaughtered, and God knows how many cows. It's incredibly unbelievable numbers. All this is converted from the natural resources of growing these two grains. I mean, not grains, lentil, and then one is grain. And the natural resources we are pouring in terms of the soil becoming barren, and, lots of forests are cut to grow this. And what are we achieving? Nutrition-less food, filling the tummies, generating the diseases. So much so that now the Europe and America, the kids are not born. Basically, sperm is unhealthy, even if it is there, which was 150 millions, now it's come down to 20 millions or 35 millions. So even if that 25 million sperm is not healthy, you are giving birth to mentally retarded kids, physically handicapped kids, and kids that are confused about their own sex, called LGBTs. And all these are all due to the nutritional and unscientific way of eating food. Now the word eat is not consuming food, because we are consuming the natural resources. To make these 1600 million tons per year soybean, almost 32% of the forests are cut, and the herbicide glyphosate is used in such large amounts that you have the effect of glyphosate felt in a bird which cannot fly in the South Pole, and we have cancer taken over to the penguins that are being born now as we speak. And the experts are not bothered about penguins' egg, because they are not even bothered about the kids born with blood cancer. When you eat soybean, that's what happens. The glyphosate basically blocks the synthesis of protoporphyrin, which is the base structure for both hemoglobin as well as chlorophyll. So if I can block the biosynthesis of protoporphyrin in a plant kingdom that gives magnesium into the center and makes chlorophyll, the same protoporphyrin have iron and it makes the hemoglobin. So now if I make my kid eat soybean, I am inducing the residues of this chemical that can block the synthesis of hemoglobin. So you have blood cancer patients appearing at the age of 3, 4 in our clinic. Me and my daughter, my daughter runs a clinic in Mysore. We conduct every week one class for cancer patients. And we are seeing 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-olds, kids coming as patients. And that too after the so-called present modern advanced chemotherapy, radiotherapy, all this PET scan, CAT scan and whatnot, all scans. Pet, cat, dog, and then God scan. Just to infuse some humor, because the situation is very, very serious. And this is the essence of modern day food, which is centralized, processed, ultra processed foods that depend on absolutely unscientific way of cooking food, robbing whatever little is left. Of course, we are growing food unnaturally because the soil is completely barren now, because the fertilizers and pesticides are killing the microbes in the soil, and there is no binding agent that is being completely removed in the modern agriculture. And that binding agent from time immemorial was the millet grasses. I just would like you to see this. It's 5 to 6 minutes video. Just switch off the lights and watch this. Now we'll get into slowly how, generally I talk about diseases and all, but today I thought they were checking. I love that food for all time.
It is time we as a human race answered this question honestly. How can we put food on the table for all? In other words, ensure food security for everyone. We may use missiles to face threat from outside, but it is really food that comforts us in every situation. Having food on the table means we find the food that grows easily, is low cost because it can grow everywhere. That's easy and gentle on resources, that keeps us healthy. Food that can feed us today and many generations beyond. Ensuring food for everyone on the planet is also about food management systems used. What this means is who controls seeds and decisions like what to grow, how much to store, what is the plan for distribution, and how far the food travels. The thing to understand is whether local food varieties, grains, vegetables, plants, are allowed to flourish, and farmers and local communities have an important role in deciding what they want to grow and eat. It is time we get concerned and ask if the food system is low cost, gives easy and quick access to food both in war and peace. Is it one that is sustainable? We can get answers very easily by looking at what we are eating and see if it checks off all criteria for food security. The foods that we have been focusing most on in the last 100 years or so is wheat and rice. The largest portion of food that most of us eat through the day today is either wheat or rice or both. Now let's see how wheat and rice do on the food security score. Wheat and rice use billions of dollars worth of pesticides and synthetic fertilizers. The reason why soil fertility has eroded worldwide, and we notice loss of taste in fruits and vegetables today. Wheat and rice are guzzlers of natural resources as well. Did you know that 8 to 10,000 liters of water is needed to produce 1 kg of wheat or rice? This is an important reason why water resources are depleted all across the globe. In India, in Punjab, the cradle of green revolution, there will be no water in 16 years to continue growing wheat and rice. Most varieties of wheat and rice that are grown have been genetically modified and endanger health. It is also no secret that wheat and rice increase blood sugar. They are both linked to rapidly rising diabetes. Disease is a natural outcome of such voluminous consumption we see today of wheat and rice. So with huge demand of fertilizers, pesticides and water, eroding soil fertility and rising disease, how does wheat and rice go on food security? Now let's look at the management system that controls crops and farming practices. Today we have a central authority with policies that favor growing wheat and rice in select areas and shipping it everywhere. The centralized system has been pushing heavily farming of wheat, rice, along with corn and soy in the last several decades. Corn and soy farming is driven in large part by need for animal feed for the rising meat industry. Along with imbalanced crop choices, the food management systems are driving use of a well-known endocrine toxin, glyphosate, to put in both seeds and soil. The rising trend in farming of wheat, rice, soy and corn has gobbled more than 1 million square kilometers of land in the past 2 decades. Where did this land come from? Yes, many forests have been cut and turned into cropland. As we are losing forests, we are heading towards catastrophic climate change. How climate change? Because it is forests that primarily do the job of removing carbon from the air and storing it in the wood, plant matter and under the soil. With such monumental scale of deforestation, focus on a handful of crops and ignoring local food varieties, we are losing biodiversity. Healthful grains and plants are getting sidelined, even going extinct. With huge needs for resources and no seed control, farmers' debts and dependencies are rising. These are huge costs that we are paying for growing these crops, but subsidies offered on them hide these costs. Storage is an impractical and expensive option. So with political instability or war, areas get shut off and become inaccessible for shipments from far-flung places. So with a centralized management system with focus on just 4 or 5 major crops that guzzle resources, promotion of pesticide and GMO technology, looming climate crisis, depleting biodiversity, rising farmer debt, no food access in case of war, what kind of food security do we have? So how can we have food security? Millets, which are C4 grasses, is the perfect answer to food security. Padma Shri Dr. Khader Valli's groundbreaking work for over 2 decades proves this without a doubt. Millets can grow everywhere. C4 grasses come with genetic mapping that helps them survive easily in 10 to 50 degrees temperature range. They are ready to harvest in 3 to 4 months. They do not need any fertilizers and pesticides and in fact restore soil fertility in 3 to 4 years. There are many varieties of millets. Restoring these ancient grains as a key food will restore the lost biodiversity and build a vibrant ecosystem good for us and the health of the planet. With millets, we don't have to cut down forests. In fact, we can restore the ones we have lost. While 1 kg rice can be eaten by 5 people, 1 kg millets can be fed to 10. Millets are very light on water resources and need 40 times less water than rice to grow. No ecologically disturbing dams are necessary with millets. If Punjab switches entirely to millets, it can have food for another 600 years, even more. In fact, it can feed the entire country. Also important to note, millets can feed 3 times the world population today. Since every region, including barren lands, can grow millets, every place can become self-reliant. No long-distance transportation or shipment is then necessary. These ancient grains, with their high fiber content, give 100% glucose balance. Dr. Khader's research clearly proves that these grains reverse and prevent diabetes and in fact many other conditions. How do small millets then score on food security? What can we do? The answer is staring us in the face. What about the government? Here are Dr. Khader's suggestions. Missiles may protect us from outside, but millets is the answer to internal security and global hunger problem. They are our sustenance for the future, just as they were for several centuries in the past. If the hunger is taken care of, perhaps there may not be any need for missiles.
It's not as easy as clapping. Because we are rooted now in our so-called modern day habits, starting from caffeine kicks to tobacco and theobromine. You know what's theobromine?
No, tea.
Chocolate.
Cocoa. So you see the modern food corporates are selling you all addictive stuff. Caffeine, theobromine, morphine.
Marijuana.
Yeah, California burning the forests, burning the places. Basically the mountainous areas where the roots of the rivers, the origin places were completely devastating by choosing the coffee estate and tea estates. And to support to the coffee and tea estates, we have sugar estates. That's another disastrous system where we do not need sugar at all. Humans do not need a single milligram of sugar. Sugar is actually the main culprit for all the diseases, basically the glucose imbalance. We need to have only 5 grams of glucose floating in your blood at any given point of time. This is the medical fact. Biochemically, the homeostasis is disturbed if you pump more glucose into your bloodstream. And that's what rice and wheat and sugar do. So it is amazing how these so-called experts have chosen rice, wheat and sugar as the food systems. It's incredible. And it's been 100 years and the experts are still naively unaware of it. There have been so many MD, MS doctors and They have not even termed the coin, they have not even coined the term as glucose imbalance. Most of our diseases are arising from glucose imbalance. That is, when you eat 100 grams of rice or wheat, you are pumping almost 30 to 50 grams of glucose into your bloodstream without any regulation, and you are increasing the thickness of the blood. And that is the source of your high BP, because the heart is finding it difficult to pump the thickened blood. So you go to your doctor, sir, I have BP. So apparently you have BP. So you thin your blood. So I give you a BP tablet. Sir, how long do I take this? What a stupid question. Take lifelong. Isn't it? So here is the disconnect. Who is making the blood thick? And why doesn't the experts say that it is so? So if I stop eating rice, wheat and sugar, in no time my BP will disappear. In no time. So it is, we have thickened our muscles, fat is floating, so it's all stuck in your, you have heart attack. Now we have actually in India, right where we live, Mysuru, Hassan, every day young boys and girls are falling flat on the roads. I think last week it was 40, the count. Heart attacks. Because now they spun this green revolution and got this rice, wheat, and now they are spinning what is called pink revolution. You need protein, you need protein. Because they have grown so much soybean that the protein is, despite making all this meat, they still have a lot of it left. So they want to push that also. They said, eat eggs, eat soybean, eat this, soy milk, soy this, soy that. And they are feeding all animals, making milk and making cheese, making paneer. You see how this is breeding all unwanted foods, and they are sold as 1 gram per kilogram of weight, body weight you need. This is the experts talking about. How can you believe these guys? You do not have a single peptidase from mouth till it reaches the gut. Not even a single peptidase in human body. Proteins are the platforms where you burn your glucose, that's mitochondria, and the nitrogenous amino acids, DNA. So it is the building blocks. They don't, once you build, you don't burn protein to make energy to live. So it's in a room where you live, and you cannot go on supplying the room material every day. It is there already. You don't need it. You understand what I'm saying? But nature has decided the ratio. If you go to an acre of land where you grow your pulses, and see, protein doesn't come from meat. Basically, meat gets protein from the plants. And the present day comprehension of people is protein means meat, eggs, fish. And in fact, they are spinning another revolution in India already. It's called blue revolution. They have aqua and then carbon copy fish, each weighing 3 kilos, 4 kilos, now sold on the. It's all steroid based. Systems are completely unnatural and artificial. And we are made to believe that that is good for you. Because you need 1 gram protein per kilogram body weight. If you are weighing 50 kilos, you need to have 50 grams of protein according to these experts. And 50 grams of protein is actually found in minimum of 200 grams of the so-called genetically modified soybean has not got beyond 30 grams of protein. On a natural process, lentils, pulses, dicots have got 20 to 24 grams of protein. And proteins are series of amino acids arranged in a particular sequence. These are proteins which actually make our enzymes, and many biological processes are processed through these fellows. So their replenishment is not in that high demand. Whereas you burn glucose, you need to supply, That's our food, that's our energy thing. So mitochondria burns glucose, so it is the protein that has to be replaced over a period of time. So you don't need in large quantities. The whole body, if you burn or if you analyze, you have only 3 to 4% of protein is required. So you can have 3% of your food as protein. Not the other way around. You are my body weight, I have to... This is the funny thing that these guys do. So what happens now, everyone has to take, how much? So you translate it into meat, it is like almost 300 to 400 grams of meat you have to eat. And that's why it is called pink revolution. So some expert decides that you need this much protein, you need this much carbohydrate, you need this much. And then everyone is starting, all these nutritionists, you need calorie in terms of calorie. Calorie is a war technology. They put something in the dabba and then say, this is the calories you need. So everyone converted everything that you have this many calories, that many calories. So if a nutritionist is talking about calories, please leave him in the old age. He doesn't know what is nutrition. This is the problem. But all these experts in their medical schools are teaching this one. You see, all this is convoluted to spread their businesses, not real science. So to keep your blood thin, the only thing you need to do is make fiber flow in your body, which Charaka said long ago. The food is classified in terms of Charaka: greens and vegetables, roots and tubers, grains. Simple classification. So what is the parameter there for Charaka is the fiber. In the greens and vegetables you have nascent fiber. Nascent means just born, new fiber. In roots and tubers you have the immature fiber, which is polysaccharides becoming fibrous. And then grains come. Grains have the matured fiber, aromatic lignans, which is basically polyphenolic, which can scoop up the negative energy that you generate while you burn glucose. The tumbling down of the electron in the cytochrome system leaves out EMF, which then picks up and becomes a free radical, then starts its dance, damaging the organelles, then dysfunctional organs, then the symptoms of the disease. So the source of the disease is actually the only one stress. There is only one stress in this, that is oxidative stress. But then all of a sudden, all the medical doctors have started using the word stress. There is no stress for humans. It's only oxidative stress that generates the diseases. So now, to mop up this oxidative stress, that EMF is the result of this oxidative electron motive force. That is the energy that spins the electron, is actually the source of the disease for any living cell, not only for humans, even for a virus cell, even for a bacteria, even for fungus. Any living cell that is burning oxygen needs to do this. That means even if you eat the purest of the pure foods, you are going to be stressed. Most organic food, no chemicals. I go too deep into the forest and get my food and eat, still you will be sick. Because this oxidative stress is going to damage the organelles. So what did God do to us? He gave the fiber. And that's what is called phytochemicals, a loose term used by many people. Phytochemicals. That is available in the greens and vegetables, roots and tubers, and grains. So the beautiful 3 levels of antioxidants to reduce the oxidative stress in each and every living cell. Only if you have these fibers of different PMF, proton motive force, that can negate the EMF, you have the solution. So the origin of the disease itself can be dealt with if you have these wonderful fibers floating in your body. We have eliminated them step by step in the last 40-50 years, hence the diseases. Am I making it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Very simple actually. But we have complicated. Eliminated the nutrients plus this wonderful chemical range that can keep us healthy. So who would keep us healthy? It is the nutrition plus cleaning. So the cleaning part is completely thrown out of the window, which should have been the part of your food. In southern language, akulu alamulu, kandamulalu, davasadhanyalu, soppu tarkari, kandamula, davasadhanya, period, simple. So what about my protein? What about my carbohydrate? What about this? All are there. They are there. So when you see the millets being C4 grasses, they do not require water. So they short-circuited while making the glucose from C4 unit, oxaloacetic acid, they start. So they don't require water. So 10 degrees is okay, 20 degrees is okay, 30 degrees is okay, 40 degrees is okay. And God's arrangement is that the grasses of these, they themselves bear the bacteria which can absorb water from the atmosphere. Just the humidity. So you don't need to even have rains, basically. So we did these experiments, and then actually now we have a place called Anantapuramu where there are not even 3 or 4 rains per year. Now actually in Andhra Pradesh, Anantapuramu is the place where everyone is growing millets, because we bought attention of the people that if you eat millets, what happens to you? Play that. So you are now diabetic. Not only you are diabetic, your kids are diabetic, type 1 diabetes. And all the experts in the world have declared type 1 diabetes is genetic because the pancreas is not working, there is no insulin produced. So this is disease that cannot be cured, incurable. So how do you do, what do you manage them? We have artificial insulin, you keep injecting, and then we have monitors. Now we have technology so that we'll make graphs as you eat, and then you can see, oh, you reduce this, then you reduce that, you increase this, you do that. Despite that, there have been coma, kids going into coma because they have injected more insulin and all that hangama going on. Where is this man? Play a video for small.
Yes, continue.
Yes. Yeah, please. So type 1, incurable. Diabetes, incurable. BP, incurable. So take tablets lifelong. Because your blood has become thick, the endocrine systems where the release of these juices of thyroid gland, thymus gland, pituitary, that is hindered, you have hormonal balance, completely going haywire. So your glucose balance is gone, which creates hormonal imbalance. So yeah, let's play this.
Welcome to Dr. Khader Lifestyle.
Yeah, I didn't want Dr. Khader Lifestyle. We have actually named as Siridhanya.
That is old.
Yeah, go ahead. Explain.
Hi, I'm Shruti. I'm from Bangalore. Last year, my son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in the month of September. He was barely 13 at the time. We had to be rushed to the hospital. He was in the hospital for about 7 days, where his medication or treatment included him taking insulin injections. And even when we got back, we were told that, this is how his life is going to be, where he has to manage his blood sugar levels only with insulin injections, and that he had to take it for about 4 to 5 times a day. And not just that, in the middle of the night, we had to check his blood sugar levels every day so that he doesn't enter a hyperglycemic state. And that is very painful to see, right? Thankfully, on the 9th day after his discharge, our very close relative, because of his experience with Dr. Khader, recommended us to go consult him. So I took my son along to Mysore, and we saw Dr. Khader. Dr. Khader immediately put us at ease. He said, my son does not have to be dependent on insulin injections for the rest of his life, but there was another way that included switching to a millet diet, stopping anything that was processed, stopping milk and milk-related products, switching to an organic diet, and following a good physical regime, that is a good exercise routine. And immediately we started that. Also, Dr. Khader, in his disease protocol, he recommends, for diabetes, he recommends taking concoctions of certain leaves in the morning and having bull-driven oils. There are 5 types that he recommends for diabetes. So we started doing that for my son. And in a week's time, we could see how his insulin dosage had to be reduced, right? For every meal, in fact, we had started giving him lesser and lesser because his blood sugar levels were getting controlled with lesser dosage of insulin. And believe it or not, at the end of 1 month, we could, stop his medication completely. He was just managing it with whatever Dr. Khader recommends, with the millet diet, with drinking the concoction of certain leaves, with the bull-driven oils, and following a healthy regime. So we are extremely indebted to Dr. Khader for his timely help. We are grateful to him because he's been our savior. And I recommend that everybody follow Dr. Khader's protocol. Even if you're healthy, please switch to a millet diet. Stop eating gluten and rice, because it does more harm than good to our bodies. All of us at home eat whatever my son has to eat to manage his health, and that is great support when you do that. And we can see the difference even in our health. So thank you again, Dr. Khader. You've been our savior, as I've mentioned time and again. And I recommend that everybody follow a millet diet to stay healthy, to stay stronger, and to be happier.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम श्रुति है, मैं बैंगलोर में रहती हूँ। सितंबर 2021 में मेरे 13 साल का
No, this is Hindi people wanted, so we don't know much Hindi, but we still babble something.
It does make sense for some people. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, the idea is simple, that we can cure diabetes, not just diabetes, type 1 diabetes.
Type 1 diabetes.
We have hundreds of kids now getting well, getting rid of their insulin injections on a daily basis. And this boy, this particular case has been almost 6 years, and he had no problem whatsoever till today. Once in a year or so they see us and say hello, how we are doing good. We just recently, we actually conduct 3-day sessions, and in Bangalore, where she lives, she had come and actually talked to people also. We have 100. And this is immediately. This is that when he got the type 1 diabetes at the age of 13, they started. In fact, we have had another case where the boy had the type 1 diabetes for 13, 14 years now. At the age of, he was studying engineering, and then he had this injected insulin for 15 years. Then they followed this protocol, and he also was able to get rid of his insulin in a matter of 3 months or 4 months. We have like that so many testimonials. I don't want to waste my time showing testimonials. I have actually sent the videos to Sudhi. He could send you, you can watch. Now what I am trying to communicate to you is that we have figured out the root of the disease, the reason for the disease. So once you eliminate the reason, why you are getting sick, and you should be healthy. So I'm actually not worried about curing your diseases. I am worried about the next generations not getting the sickness. So it is the prevention, and our efforts should have been in that direction long ago. But the corporatization of food does not allow this to happen. This is where we are stuck. This is where we are stuck. So when I go to the villages and give the farmers the seeds and ask them to grow, they are saying, why should I grow this? Because they are brainwashed now that it is feed for animals. So much so that there has been no single research institute on this planet on millets. Doesn't it sound odd for you? That 80% of the planet is covered by C4 grasses, and the human race doesn't do anything about it. I mean, doesn't even know what it is. Of all the plant kingdom, 80% of the earth is covered by C4 grasses. There are more than 4,000 varieties of C4 grasses, out of which you could eat 280 kinds of these grasses, grains, which are actually wonderfully woven with fiber, that too matured fiber, which are lignans, whose PMF range is so wide that you will have no disease at all, because all the EMF, different organs, different kinds of EMF, different quantitative and qualitative EMF that can generate disease can be mopped up by the polyphenolic structure of these lignans, precursors of wood. With such matching that if your blood is flowing with the fibers of these wonderful grains, there is no room for disease at all. We have eliminated the disease at the roots. And that's the science of millets. But sadly what happened is all these kinds of testimonies, there is a millet has done magic for me. So much so that the Western scientists have nice way of putting whatever the local systems healing. Oh, it's an anecdote. There is no science in it. It is voodoo magic.
No proof.
No proof.
Yeah.
And unless you publish in the Western magazines or thing, then only it becomes science. Charaka has given such a wonderful discourse how the food systems are complete. So you have greens and vegetables that are watery, so you cannot, and it's actually called supplement.
Yeah.
The supplement, when you eat the main course, you have the side dishes that are made. You should have, must and should have greens and vegetables in a big meal complete. And not only that, roots and tubers. Then you have grains, staple food. And because these are watery substances, you cannot eat in large quantities. So if I want to get my nutrition from greens and vegetables, I need to be eating around 8 kilos to 12 kilos of, which is not sustainable again. I mean, you cannot provide so much greens and vegetables for the human population of 8 billion. So that's not our food, but you do need them for your being well. So everyone, despite you say I will eat millets, but you need this also. And then tubers and roots. Roots and tubers,
Yeah. Carrot.
yams,
Yeah.
various kinds. There are more than 280 varieties of yams on this planet. Our Western Ghats alone have 120, where I live, Western parts of India. And if you actually just go to Himachal Pradesh and that area, there are more than 300 varieties of roots and tubers that the tribals were eating. So all those systems are eliminated because the Western food corporates have patented the seeds that the whole human race is, including soybean, wheat, rice, corn. And so that means that the food itself is now in the hands of the corporates. And in India, we are actually paying more than 2.59 lakh crores of subsidy for these companies. So people in India ask me the same question everywhere I go. Oh, rice is so cheap, your millets are very costly. But millets are the cheapest as far as the ecological burden is concerned, because you can grow them on barren land. But it's because no one is growing, it is costly for you. On the contrary, the cost of growing kilo rice is actually 3,900 rupees, out of which 3,850 rupees government is paid already. And you people are all thinking it is coming to you for 50 rupees. And where did the money for the government come from? You have paid already. But you are made to believe that it is 50 rupees per kilo. I mean, for me actually it is very funny, because even the so-called high-level chartered accountants also think millets are costly. I am using the word very consciously. Chartered accountants also think millets are costly. And sadly, millets are having GST 5%. That's what the government's policies. A crop that destroys the soil, destroys the roots of the rivers, destroys the health, is subsidized. So much so, the sugar cane, why is it produced? 30% of agricultural land is now occupied by sugar cane or beetroot. What? Molasses. They make liquor. So the face book is sugar, but behind liquor. And recently we had a so-called IPL match, Bangalore won. At 11:30 or 11:45 they won. By 6 a.m. in the morning, our Karnataka government managed to make 48 crores of profit selling liquor. She is laughing. It's a serious matter. So, are the governments really interested in the health of the people? It is for the citizens to ask these questions. We have not been asking these questions. And in between I missed one more revolution called White Revolution. The dairy. Everything is artificial, including IVF. And when you have the steroidal hormonal imbalance, you will have to go through IVF. Now you see IVF everywhere for human race.
Yeah.
What does that indicate? That means you cannot produce kids. And that's what is happening. I went to England last month. I have not seen English fellows. There are only 10 or 15% left. And it is the same case with all the European countries. Europeans are going to evaporate in the next 20-30 years. There will be no Europeans. And the same thing is going to happen to Americans, because there is no sperm left. And we are following the same path. The IVF has come to Indian cities and towns too. It is that we followed these revolutions a little later. We are still having some functional kids. the story is going to repeat. It is already begun. Because we have type 1 diabetes in India, we have mentally retarded kids are born now. And this is the future generations we are affecting by the food that we are promoting so well. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So it is the food that has to protect the future generations, which the humans have blinked their eyes for the last 100 years. Sadly, the whole human race ate, not just India. Luckily, India has got the seeds, and that's how I had to run back in 1991 once, and I was unsuccessful. And again, 97, I went back. Then I have, and from core of my heart, I have to thank my wife. She's here. She didn't have a single question why we are doing what. So the people call me Millet Man of India, but all the credit. There is no woman. We are all in the same planet, Earth. So here we are. Now we think we have redefined. I am using the word redefined because it has been defined. It's just that we are being made to forget. And even today many experts say, somehow these forgotten grains. Who forgot? All these experts, all these doctors, forgotten grains. And why? Who made us forget? It is this green revolution experts, white revolution experts, pink revolution experts, and now blue revolutions. They are still in the making. They are going to spin. And we have no questions to ask. It is the white revolution that has created PCOD, endometriosis, the hair on the upper lips of the women, no problem, beauty parlors. Everything is converted into business. And we have had no questions asked, despite experts being there everywhere. This is what actually puzzled me. Why are the experts not talking about it? We cannot talk. So the glucose imbalance is the source of your diseases. Can we restore it? We have shown amply in thousands of cases. Diabetes is no disease at all. Basically, it is imbalance of glucose. So we have not analyzed why everyone is becoming. India now we are boasting we are capital of diabetes. I went to Ahmedabad. Said we are capital of in Hyderabad. We are capital of Bangalore fellows. You please fight this for second position. We are using the highest insulin on this planet Earth. Bangalore consumes so much insulin because more than 28 lakh people are taking insulin on a daily basis. So all the pharma companies are very happy with Bangalore. There is a model following. But of late, diabetes has come down slowly. The moment you start eating millets, it will disappear. Matter of 3 months or 6 months. But of course, we have right now the habits die hard. Can I cheat myself? This is the question people ask me. I cure them, then they come back after 3 months. Sir, I have my HbA1c again going up. I say, what did you? I went to marriage of my friend. On ice cream, on gulab jamun. I went to Gujarat to give lecture. That fellow early morning for me, 1/4 kilo of
Jalebi.
Jalebi. I can't. So it's only quarter kilo, sir. He would want to eat half kilo. Amazing. Because sugar is the most addictive chemical on this planet. So me and my daughter sit on the couch and then we have actually discussed, if you can manage to give your kid no sugar till he grows up to 6 or 7 years old, then you would have made sure he will never ever fall sick. Don't you need sugar? That is what we burn. We need it very badly. That's how you live. You burn the glucose and then get your energy. ATP is made. But then it has to be regulated. And that regulation, these wonderful grains do the most efficient way. So, this is the answer. What is your food? The food that gives you nutrition, the food that keeps your body clean all the time. 24/7. The thinner the blood, the better you are. So we have major millets, minor millets. Major millets, millet means 1/1000 in French language. Millimeter, milligram, millimeter. So if the grain size was around millimeter, they said millets. Booklet, chicklet, piglet. And millets are wonderful because they can grow anywhere. In fact, I was telling Raju, we were driving, so many millet grasses are there, C4 grasses. So actually I went to the England, from Lancaster to London, we were driving city after city. There are 2 roads, on the side there is so much space and all C4 grasses are growing. So I told them, if you just sow these minor millets from Lancaster to London, you can give the food to the whole Europe. You don't need any other place, just the roads that you have built, so much roads, making the most complicated systems, these roads are very dangerous. They are killing people, roads are killing people because you want to travel. You have a car, go run around. And just as we came, we saw you fell into the pit while turning. So this is where the problems are. The food that can be there for everyone, not 8 billion, 80 billion people we can supply food. But we declare it is no food. Food for birds, food for pigs.
And then we eat the pig.
Then pizza and burgers. Can you see this disconnect? And now so much so that no kid wants to eat anything else other than pizza burgers.
Yeah.
You see, this is the vicious cycle that we have built up, and all the experts are keeping quiet, and that's my problem. That's where I get into trouble. Because this is so simple, the science is so simple. Science of being healthy is so simple. So to redefine what our ancestors have said, this is ancestral knowledge, it's not me, but I'm only recapturing it, rediscovering it, and doing the experiments again to prove. Now another big, where is the proof? Is it science? Only if these guys publish, it becomes science. Otherwise it is not science. I said, hell with your science. I don't mind not publishing. I want the kids of future generations to be healthy. So I started visiting village after village. I would have visited more than 6,000 villages. And went to the farmers, gave them the seeds. Please grow, this is the food. We sat there and gave them, cooked the food. And we have forgotten how to cook the food. All people, they don't know how to cook because we have now so-called cyber cafes and what is it, sir? Another?
Uber Eats.
No. There is one. Huh?
Uber Eats.
No, Uber is there is a cyber cave and centralized kitchens.
Cloud kitchen.
Cloud kitchens, yeah. Cloud kitchens. No one knows where the food. Clouds. You see how well we are integrating the computer language to our
Food system.
I mean, it's incredible. I cannot believe that this is happening. So you do not know where it is cooked. It just now in Bangalore, 1.3 crore Swiggy and Zomato orders daily. And we are only 1.1 crore, the population. So where is the kitchen? Kitchen is closed. This is the sad story we are facing. So you do not know where it is cooked, what is cooked, and you have, all kinds of, cutting the corners, you have the cheap taste givers, they are spraying. Because it's all, according to me, food that is made 10 days back and then kept in the cold rooms and on the order, it's all standardized and, on large scales. You go to a Pizza Hut and ask them, he will take a bun, he will take this and then he will take and put in 10 minutes and give and then use it. I mean, it's all processed long, long ago. So the tastes are given by the chemicals that they are sprayed and we are still eating them. Spoiling your ovaries, spoiling your sperm and giving birth to the generations that cannot function properly. Hole in the heart, 6% of kids are born. You see, this is a cyclic thing. And as a whole, human race has failed itself to recognize this. And on top of it, we are declaring this disease as incurable in the name of science and development. I find it very odd because I am so-called scientist. So when someone asks, what do you do? I said, I am not a scientist because I feel very insecure to say that this is all happening in the realm of science. I look funny when I talk like this, but the issues are very serious. I believe we all need to start doing something seriously about it. If not for your sake, the next coming generations are at stake. Not just human race. We have eliminated the diversity of the fauna and flora just to make this stupid food that is making us sick. I use the word very consciously. We are now making ourselves believe that that is our food. I can't believe Kerala fellows saying paratha is their food. They can't even today grow a single grain of wheat. Can you believe that it has happened? And Keralites are so-called highly literate fellows. I mean, 100% are literate. What happened to their wisdom is my question. They are literate, all right, but they are telling wheat is their, paratha is very good food. Everywhere paratha. On the road, inside, star hotels, anywhere and everywhere. That maida they are eating. Not only that, Ayurveda wellness centers are giving this. That is the problem for them. All these spiritual leaders are gobbling up soya, paneer, and coffee, tea. Not one small cup of coffee. You see, all the Indians who are in India, they are drinking cup of coffee. As soon as they come to America, they have mug of coffee. Everyone. And there we used to drink coffee after breakfast. Here, before breakfast, after breakfast, before lunch, after dinner, coffee mug is everywhere. You see this? It's all you're consuming. You are not drinking coffee. You are consuming coffee. You are consuming. You are supposed to eat your food, not consume. All these are things that have made us what we are today. The terms, the words, all these things matter. Can we snap out of this 100 years blip? Is my request.
Yes.
This is the science of food, which is defined long, long ago in our Ayurveda. So, know your biological systems around, then select. These are the nature of food. I actually, whenever I get time, it's amazing how these guys have defined, and we are not able to redefine. You see my problem? That they have defined it, and we are not able to redefine. With all the so-called advanced technologies, can we not just say, yes, that is true, and this is not true? Where are we going is the question. Oh, come on, Khader, you will tell all this, but then I have to have my cup of coffee. But it is this cup of coffee which has evaporated the rivers in Africa, in America, in India, everywhere. It is the coffee estate, it is the sugar estate, it is the tea estate that has eliminated the forest in the mountainous areas of this planet Earth. And what for? For caffeine? You drink coffee and get up in the night to urinate 3 to 4 times and disturb your health furthermore. And go to the doctor, oh, you have a prostate inflammation, which can turn into cancer, you know. You better get it removed. After removing, we have no control, no problem. We have
Tablets.
no. We have a sachet that will beat your thigh, and you do not know when you are urinating. There is a small chip which will give you the sac is filled, then you remove. And again, $18 billion business. Please come. There is a small herb called sarsaparilla, which will remove your prostate inflammation. So just take the decoction of that root. You will fix your problem in a matter of 3 to 4 months. So we have that 80-year-old man every day not able to sleep, accumulating the diseased conditions, not able to walk properly. They come to us, we make them eat millets and then give these decoctions. Lo and behold, in a matter of 3 to 6 months, they are sleeping well, not getting up in the night. They are able to walk better, do things. At the age of 80, I mean, the system is screwed up for so many years, but still, if you have the right food, it is fixing itself. Am I making sense?
Yes.
That's how the role of leaves, the roots, vegetables come in. These have quick fixes. So when you take a decoction of, we were just coming, he was showing me one of the, you just throw the leaf in the soil, it will grow. It's called Bryophyllum pinnatum, which can fix your kidney. Stone can dissolve and come out. So you have kidney stone, you go to the doctor, they will shoot with laser. After 3 years, you have more kidney stones. You don't need to shoot with laser or anything. Just drink Bryophyllum pinnatum, 3 weeks decoction. Take half leaf, not full leaf. Boil it for 2 to 3 minutes. Just decant the water, sip by sip. Instead of you sipping your coffee or tea, please sip this. After breakfast you take coffee, please sip. Before breakfast you take, because the absorption of the medicinal value of the decoction is much more efficient if your tummy is empty. Because the decoction goes and stuck in the digestive process. That should not happen because acid wash comes in. So to eliminate that problem, if you just drink before half an hour, if you want to drink after breakfast also, drink once more, no problem. But make sure you drink one when you are empty stomach. You will see the wonderful results. We have shown umpteen number of times. So prostate inflammation and urinary tract infections in women, all these systems, disturbed systems because of microbial imbalance, hormonal imbalance and glucose imbalance. These three imbalances, if you can set right in your food, you are good to go. No disease will affect you. So the gut microbes, just after the stomach, the small intestine, the area where things are absorbed into your bloodstream or celiac region, it is actually loaded with wonderful microbes that live symbiotically, make all the biochemicals that you cannot make and supply wherever, whenever, however much, in all dimensions they can work along with your living cells of the epithelium inside gut. It's called gut microbes. So even that these so-called experts are able to wrap up in a plastic and then say one or two and give you a prebiotic, probiotic. So anything has to be a product. But it is so simple if you eat the fibrous millet porridge which is fermented and drink before food, you will make, now it is only 1.1 kilos, it should have been 2.5 kilos. In terms of numbers, it should have been 30 trillion, now you don't even have a billion. Where is trillion, where is billion? So all this imbalance, microbial imbalance can be like that corrected in a matter of 6 weeks to 6 months, depending upon how sincere you are in your attempts. Once that is done, you will have no infectious diseases in your system. Corona 19, no problem. Corona 99 also, no problem. You can bring them together and nothing will happen to me or you if you follow this. So if your gut microbes are 2.2 kilos, how do I build it up? Fibrous materials are prebiotic. That's why greens, roots, tubers and millets are the prebiotic food which will be probiotic. Content will be increased. Very simple. Isn't it simple?
Yes.
It is so simple
Yes.
that you just have to take 5 grams of millet, soak in half liter of water for 8 hours, cook for 10 minutes, tie it in a mud pot with a muslin cloth, leave it for another 8 hours. You develop this wonderful microbe. It's called Ambali in south, Khamir in north, Basi in near the Gujarat. They used to do this practice in a bottle. Bas means the bamboo bottles. That's why it's called Basi. You drink that 200 ml first thing in the morning or before dinner. Always before food because the stomach wall closes if you eat something. And then the porridge, the fermented porridge you drink should not be caught up in the acid rush. So to avoid that, you drink before food, it will go and settle in your celiac region. Good to go. 6 weeks, in fact, mentally retarded kids, physically handicapped kids, their chemical, neurological, biochemicals can be reinvented, remade. Slowly and steadily we have seen mentally retarded kids. In fact, we have few wonderful cases. They have become school first in their 10th class exam, where they were not able to have eye contact also. Such cases also we have in our group. Not 1, 2, hundreds of them. So that rewiring the brain requires a fat content, the natural oils of sesame seed, Niger seed, coconut oil. So we have reworked all this and then made protocols. And we can show, for an example, one link is there.
Yeah, they can scan the protocol.
Yeah, the protocol book, recipes.
But that is only in English, right? You have all the protocols?
Yeah, it lists everything.
And all languages we have. Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Odisha, Bengali, Punjabi, all books are there. And cookbooks are also there in English, Hindi and Telugu. And Millet Magic, Dr. Sarla, a YouTube channel. Dr. Sarla is my daughter, our daughter. She cooks and puts it, the videos on millets. Millets, the only thing is people say, oh, it's very difficult to cook. It's so simple. Only thing is you need to soak them for 8 hours. Why do you need to soak? The fiber is interloculated with the carbohydrate, and that is the beauty, that is the wonderful structure that makes all these good things happen in your body. It regulates. Yeah, you just open, you will get all this. So why don't we open that Pakasiri book?
The last line.
Go scroll down a little bit.
That. How to cook. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And you can make very tasty foods. Very tasty. I mean, this is me cooking in Raju's house actually. So when food is right, no medicine is needed. When your food is wrong, no medicine works. Homeopathy, allopathy, naturopathy, tautopathy, go to Tirupati. Nothing works. Poor fellow Tirupati Timmappa, the laddu is having fat of pigs in the name of ghee. They are mixing that. Recently they found in their labs. That's what you get when you centralize stuff. That's my daughter, Sarla. Me, my wife. We met in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Me and my wife. That's where we married. So, I'm actually trying to simplify things. And it is simple, actually. As far as I'm concerned, it's pretty simple. Soak your food, cook. In fact, your grains and your lentils also have to be soaked. If you soak your lentils, pulses and cook, you will have no gas and no pains in your body. But now we don't want to wait, we are now in Zomato Swiggy age. You don't know what you are eating. So forget about how to cook. Why should I cook is the question. In fact, that's what the last 50 years, the movies, the TV serials, everything selling, oh, your wife is still cooking. As if cooking is a bad thing. And this is how we are brainwashed, fine-tuned to fall into the corporate food culture. So please understand these small things. These are very small things. But practicing these small things will make the doctor irrelevant in your life. That I can guarantee. Nowadays everyone is guaranteeing something or something. We will guarantee your health. We will guarantee your health. Only thing is you need to make these small changes that will guarantee wonderful future for next generations. You see how things are so simply interconnected. So let's just connect the planet and let life flourish into the future. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So can we have another round of applause for incredibly knowledgeable, incredibly humorous, especially Dr. Khader Valli. I know we are so we are on dot 6:30. We had some questions which most of the folks who registered sent, and it's Siridhanya's responsibility to give you the answers of those questions on a text message. Dr. Valli we have, on behalf of the consulate, this wonderful words from Bhagavad Gita. And since I am not proficient in Sanskrit, I asked Siridhanya to chant this or recite this shloka.
No, I can just tell you the meaning. It just means that the Agni that resides in your stomach is the Vishnu that resides in as the Agni in stomach helps in digestion. So that's the shloka, which is kind of apt with what doctor has been doing for several decades now. So that's just
Redefining this.
Redefining. And I'm hoping and praying that you're going to take this with you, and it's not going to be in the Houston Museum. And one more.
One more, please.
Yeah, this is the first time Madam is she's coming here, so this is for her.
So this is how we welcome you. Thank you. Good work.
And I've tried to make it weightless so that they can carry after checking with doctor that it's not heavy. So.
No, you can courier it to this is one, there will be 8 more programs.
This is very unique.
No, I have to carry it.
Raj. So on behalf of the Indian community, Raj, can you please? So this is our token of appreciation for the consulate.
You want to explain that?
You won't explain, man. You are the explanation, man.
So this is connecting back to our roots. Janani Janmabhumishcha Swargadhapi Daryasi, which just means mother and motherland is greater than heaven. So that's a shloka from Ramayana, and that's something we want to connect with our motherland. Though we are here for, on karma basis, our Daiva Bhumi is still India.
Yeah, and Houston is Punya Bhumi.
Yeah, actually. This is for Achalesh, for everything that he does for the community. It's, he keeps saying he's like the Sarati for all of us in Houston. Anything that we need to get it done, the first person I contact is Achalesh. Anything related to India, anything related to us Hindus, it is him here in Houston, and he does a thankless job. The least I could do is it is again a shloka, Karmanya Vadikaraste from Bhagavad Gita. That's something he does all the time without expecting anything from us.
Walking God. Walking God.
We can have a group photograph.
Sure.
Everybody look here, please.
There are few kids, they can also join there. We are doing. They can also come. Come.
Come and sit down here in the front. I think it's fine.
Say Millet.
That's right. Millet.
Why don't you all also go and join us?
Siridhanya.
Thank you.